Uh-oh, you just caught me surfing while you're surfing the web. Look, I don't know what to do for an intro to this. I'm gonna listen to nothing but Switchfoot, and then I'm gonna have to do a cover at the end of this once I've ranked their entire catalog. There's only so many types of intros you can give. Now, I've heard your pleas, and I'm listening to them. The song that I picked to cover is not gonna be a recreation this time. No, we're changing it up. It's going to be my very own version. Now, I really didn't know that this is the 20th anniversary of the album Nothing Is Sound by Switchfoot. I have already shot this video. I've already got my review for Nothing Is Sound. But now, I hope people like what I have to say about the album Nothing Is Sound. We'll just have to see. This band might be one of the most influential bands in my life. I have a lot of memories connected to a lot of albums, and we're gonna get to those. My air conditioning turned on. I was extremely happy when everyone voted for me to listen to Switchfoot, because last time I listened to Skillet, and I caught some heat for it. Let's just start this thing. We've got quite a few albums to get through. I think it's like 12 maybe studio albums. All right, I'm gonna switch stances and switch foot. Ugh. Day one, I've knocked out a lot of music. The first one I listened to was The Legend of Chen. This album came out in 1997, and honestly, it's a really strong start. It feels very 90s, and it's got some amazing songs that are happening all the way through. This is a great little album. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. Like most first albums, production, things that you would change, or maybe some muddy mixes going on. John Foreman's vocal sounds just a little bit nasally or back of the throat stuff. That's okay. One thing though is clear. From the very first album, John Foreman is a great songwriter. The turns of phrase, the rhyming patterns, the melodies, all of it is working extremely well for a first release. I'm gonna give The Legend of Chen a 5 out of 10 on the Switchfoot only scale. There's gotta be some room to go. Here are my top 3 songs from the album. Number 3 is The Edge of My Seat. Number 2 is Kim 6A, a classic Switchfoot song, but when I heard it again, I thought, not enough chatter still about this. Number 1 is the song You. I love this song. 2020, Switchfoot did a newer version of it for like a live stream concert. I fell in love with that song all over again. But this wasn't the first Switchfoot album I ever heard. Welcome to 1999's New Way to Be Human. This is the first Switchfoot album that I ever heard. We hear John's vocal immediately improve. I think that his voice, maybe from doing live shows, just got better. Lyricism is off the charts, a huge step up already. Not only that, but we see Switchfoot gain popularity through the song Only Hope, which ended up in the movie Walk to Remember, which I haven't seen, but shout out Walk to Remember for making them more common. I don't know. Lyrically, the songs have a wide range. We find that there are writings about philosophers and theology that are happening all the way throughout. An example of that would actually be my number 3 pick, Something More, aka Augustine's Confessional. I think that this shows that John was already really fascinated with writing and was taking in literature that would just improve his songwriting more. I'm gonna give New Way to Be Human a 6.5 out of 10. There's a lot that's really great about this album. My number 2 song is Incomplete, and my number 1 song, the title track, dare I sound cliche, New Way to Be Human. My top 2 tracks here, I still have them on playlists and go back to them. Oh, but we're not done yet. Welcome to the 2000s, baby. We're learning to breathe. Not to be confused with Need to Breathe. We do need it, but we're learning. I thought that was a good joke. We'll see. Right out of the gate, I'm gonna say something that may be controversial about this album, but I feel like it's potentially weaker than the previous, but only marginally. It is not something that's a big difference. It is also the first appearance of the song Dare You to Move, which we will see on a future album, The Beautiful Letdown. When I listen to this album, it feels like the front half of it is the strongest, both lyrically and melodically, but I still enjoy the whole thing. Don't get it twisted. Blah, blah, blah. John's lyrics are amazing once again. And it also feels nostalgic for me, like something about the production on this really just made me feel almost emotional. Number 3 song is the title track, Learning to Breathe. A nice, slow, kind of ballady song. Beautiful meaning lyric-wise, beautiful production. Number 2 kind of surprised me, Playing for Keeps. This is a really fun track, and I wasn't expecting to put it at number 2 or even on the list, but hearing it again, I kind of fell in love with it. Number 1 is Dare You to Move. We'll talk more about that song when we get to The Beautiful Letdown. I give Learning to Breathe a 6 out of 10 on the Switchfoot scale. 3 albums in one day? Let's keep going. Day 2. 2003. How does one even begin to talk about The Beautiful Letdown? The Beautiful Letdown was anything but a letdown for people who like Switchfoot. For fans of Switchfoot, this is the thing that people say, you should listen to this Switchfoot album. It is front to back amazing. The production jump between the last 3 albums and this one is really massive. John Fields is the producer and he absolutely crushed it. Opening with the track Meant to Live is such a strong idea. Hearing the guitars pan to different ears and then just into it, it's so good that every time I hear it, I'm like, this song, how does someone make this song? Meant to Live is like a level 10 song, right? But how many other tracks on this album are also level 10 Switchfoot songs? John Foreman's writing on this album is so good. There's no wasted space. This is so hard to do. There are no throwaway moments to me on this album. Chad has really great drum moments as well. I know we haven't mentioned much about some of the instrumental stuff going on, but the drums to me take a huge production leap and you can just hear and feel everything. The song 24 is unreal. I just feel like crying every time I hear the song. But listening through the whole album and getting to 24, it was just like a wave of emotion hearing it. That and the title track, I mean, it comes in with this really cool, low, rumbling feel. But then we get to a better produced version of Dare You to Move. It's rare that you find a band that they, write a song on a previous album, redo it, and put it on the next album too. But I think that shows that the confidence level was just great with how the production was going. Only thing is I kind of missed that percussive sound that's at the beginning of the original. And I think I lean more towards the Learning to Breathe version, maybe just out of sentimentality. I don't know. Okay, number 3 song is Meant to Live. Hey, whoa, I know. It's a great song, and it may be controversial that it's not my number 1, but I think there's other songs that writing and lyrically wise, I enjoy more. Number 2 is This Is Your Life, another legendary Switchfoot song. Number 1 had to be 24. I think that the rhyming patterns and the use of 24 over and over and over again as you go through the verses is really unique. I think that production-wise it grows and builds and builds. It's just really good. Now I want to take a moment and talk about the fact that Switchfoot re-released this album in 2023 for its anniversary. They re-recorded the entire album, but then they got other people to re-record versions of the album as well. People like John Bellion, the Jonas Brothers, Dayglow, 21 Pilots, Owl City, Reliant K, Ryan Tedder from One Republic. And what was really fascinating about it is all of these people were inspired by Switchfoot, and the songs that were chosen and picked fit so well. Specifically, I think about the fact that Dayglow's version of Adding to the Noise sounds like a Dayglow song. Owl City's version of Gone sounds like an Owl City song. So I'm going to kind of just set that off to the side, but I did want to talk about it for a moment because it's really, really good. Beautiful Letdown, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 album, not even just on the Switchfoot scale. I mean, across the board. I think it's a perfect album almost. I can't think of a single thing that I don't like about this album or is worth noting. Like it's just great. But is it my favorite Switchfoot album? No. I don't know how I'm supposed to grade and rank these, honestly. Every album is good so far, but I have a soft spot for Nothing Is Sound. This album, I still have the CD that I had growing up. I swiped it from my church's library that my dad was pastoring at. We had some people donate CDs. It happened to be that the library kind of went inactive, at least I think so. So I never gave the CD back. But that's also because I really love this album and I still think about it and listen to it. The lyrics on this album hit even harder now that I'm older. I didn't really understand some of the things I was hearing, but now they hit. Songs like The Shadow Proves the Sunshine, lyrics like We're crooked souls trying to stand up straight. Like, what an interesting way to phrase something. Or things like I belong somewhere past the setting sun. They're just poetic phrases that when you hear them, they kind of hit you in a way that's unique. And they're paired with these melodies that are just earworms, like they get stuck in your head. We also get the single Stars from this, which, I mean, I still remember the music video where it's like they're underwater but not, and they're floating around, and it was just really cool. And I remember it being one of the first electric guitar riffs that I really, really wanted to learn, which I did, just saying. Then you have the song We Are One Tonight that is also extremely catchy, but the music video is unbelievable. It made me want to make music videos because it had these really cool jump cuts between different actions people were doing. It just showed like all of these people having commonality between them in spite of different situations and settings. The song Politicians also hits really hard when I think about politics and the divisive nature of it and how confused people are around politics. Top songs feel impossible with this too. So it also felt this way with The Beautiful Letdown. Number 3 is going to be The Shadow Proves the Sunshine. I'm gonna lock that in right now. Number 2 is We Are One Tonight. Yeah, that's number 2. Some of y'all again might be mad that I don't have Stars at number 1, but my number 1 song from Nothing Is Sound, Happy is a yuppie word. The first time I ever heard the word yuppie was a Switchfoot song, and I was like, what's a yuppie? I'm gonna throw the definition right here. A really high contender for the cover at the end, if I'm being real. Nothing Is Sound, 10 out of 10 Switchfoot album. That's right, it's at the top. It's my favorite Switchfoot album so far. I'm pretty sure it's also my all-time favorite album by them. Let's keep going. Oh, you thought I was going to a different day? No, I'm still listening to music on day 2, baby. We're at 2006's Oh Gravity, and oh boy, it's good. It had been a minute since I'd listened all the way through this album. There are a lot of songs I like from it, but front to back, hadn't listened to it in years. To me, it feels impossible for a band to have a run of albums like this. You know how hard it is to write one good album, let alone 2, let alone 4, let alone number 5 and number 6 being good. The question I have around this is, how does a band maintain originality when things are always shifting and changing and we feel the need to stay put in what's working? None of the albums sound the same. None of the songs sound the same. This is what I like to call a reverse skillet effect. No more skillet roasting, I promise. Opener track, Oh Gravity, unbelievable. It feels completely different than anything we've heard from Switchfoot so far. We get an amazing crash out on the piano. We then get a song called American Dream. Switchfoot always towed this line of discussing things kind of going on culturally, being really careful about it, but also saying things that a lot of Christian music artists and people adjacent to it would be kind of nervous to say. But boy, we get to the song Dirty Second Hands. It leaves me speechless. Lyrically, it's fascinating to where you kind of have to really pay attention to just the lyrics to understand what's going on. Not only that, but you have like time signature changes and skipping beats, and it starts very Western. But then when that second verse hits, it goes full like grunge. I just can't get enough of it. And then again, Chad's drumming as it builds and changes so cool, the rhythms that he's got in there. I'm in love with that song all over again. The song Awakening sticks out to me because of, again, a music video, and I remember Tony Hale from Arrested Development being in it. It's really weird what stays up in the brain. Shout out to Tim, Chad, Jerome, and Drew, because every band member is knocking it out with their specific instruments. Do I think it's a perfect album? No, but man, I really wanted to grade it that way. But do I think it's as good as The Beautiful Letdown and Nothingness Sound? I don't. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It breaks my heart. Top 3 songs. Number 3, Oh Gravity. Number 2, Awakening. And number 1, you knew it was coming, The Dirty Second Hands. Second hands, like a clock, second hand. Once again, I'm emotionally attached to this album in an unhealthy way that makes me feel emotional. I remember buying this CD in a Lifeway Christian bookstore. Moment of silence for Lifeway. That was enough. I bought it on a family beach trip. I listened to it a lot, forced my family to listen to it a lot. It has these seagulls on the front. I was at the beach. So now when I go to the beach, I'm like, anyone want to listen to Hello Hurricane by any chance? Anyway, album's amazing, but also what I'm realizing is that the album art on these, they all are very cohesive to how the album sounds and feels. I will die on this hill. Album art is a massive part of any album. If your album art says one vibe and then the music doesn't give it off, then I kind of check out. All of Switchfoot's album art is really good. Unlike some other bands I've listened to. I'm not talking about them again, okay? Has like this West Coast feel to it. It makes me also think of the Beach Boys, which you already know. All right, number 3 is The Sound. Number 2 is Enough to Let Me Go. Number 1 is Needle and Haystack Life. I give Hello Hurricane a 7.5 out of 10 on the Switchfoot scale. Oh, but here we go. We're back. Fading West. Another burn-brained thing. Burn-brained? When this album came out, I was working for Lifeway Christian Bookstore. Moment of silence for Lifeway. But here's the beef I have right now. So when I was working at Lifeway, we had a bunch of displays up for Fading West. I was so excited for this album. We got an extra demo CD that had 3 of the songs early on it, and I loved those 3 songs. We also got to take a Fading West t-shirt from the inventory for us to wear. So I had a beautiful Fading West t-shirt that I wore so much. Then I stopped working for Lifeway and I continued to wear that shirt. That shirt started to develop holes all over it. You're not hearing me. I wore that shirt until holes were in it. And so I stopped wearing it. That's a lie. I didn't stop wearing that t-shirt. I loved that shirt. Now you might have noticed the past tense on that. That's because I have an ongoing investigation happening for the Fading West t-shirt. That shirt has disappeared from my closet. I'm convinced that my wife threw that shirt away because it was too ratty or had too many holes. The only problem is when I tell my wife about this shirt being missing, she says, I don't think I did that. Roll clip. We're listening to Fading West as we speak, and I told Kristen, you got rid of my Fading West shirt that I had because you kept saying it had too many holes in it. Do you remember this?
No, I'm pretty sure your mom got rid of it.
No, but we were already dating.
I think we were dating, and I remember it being at your house.
That was
I don't think it ever moved to our house.
That was like my favorite band t-shirt. You got rid of it.
I'm being falsely accused.
No, she got rid of it, and I'll never be able to replace it.
I don't get rid of things if people don't want me to.
But you would tell me it had like holes in it. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, it does. But we also have a Family Force 5 t-shirt that's got like 30 holes in it, and it's still in the closet. So
yeah, but like this one, I'm gonna get you to confess to it. My wife's trying to blame my mother for throwing this t-shirt away. So then I start thinking, ooh, I'm gonna get another one of the shirt because I love it so much. They don't freaking sell the shirt anymore. So Switchfoot, if you're watching this, I am begging you. I will be eternally grateful if I could just get a Fading West t-shirt. Just one Fading West t-shirt for the principle of it. One without holes, one with holes. I will take any Fading West t-shirt in an extra large, please. She said she didn't. I know the truth. Anyway, it's an underrated album. Kristen, why are you asking me if I have my phone? Don't tell me. No.
Eat
no way.
Your word.
Wait, did I?
Do you have anything to say
I'm sorry.
for yourself?
I'm sorry, but give me that shirt. Where was this?
No.
Was it in the trash can?
Yeah, I dug it out of the trash from 10 years ago.
No, but for real, where was it? It sounds like she hid it from me because you didn't want me wearing this. Back in its rightful place, back with me, back with the pit holes. That's all the pit holes y'all get. If you want any extra, maybe it'll be on Patreon. It was received with, I think, some mixed reviews, but I like all of the songs on it. There was also a movie where they were traveling and they documented it. Loved that documentary. The music went great with it. The album and movie as a whole kind of feel like philanthropic, a little bit like U2 in topics and what they're talking about. Some really interesting production, lean into some pop stylings with things like vocoders and synthesizers, but it still feels like a Switchfoot album. Number 3 song is Who We Are. Number 2 is BA55 or bass. For a long time I called it BA55, not even knowing that it looked like it spelled bass. That's because the bass is kind of carrying this. Tim Foreman's holding it down on there. Great bass player, great riff, very memorable. And number 1 kind of surprises people when I say that it's my favorite. I really love the song Saltwater Heart. I like the vocoders coming in and out. I think it's unique in how it still sounds like Switchfoot, but feels very original to this era. I give Fading West an 8 out of 10. I truly love this album. All right, moving on. Just kidding. I'm on to another album for day 3. We're at the album Vice Verses, and truthfully, this is one of those albums that I don't know that I ever listened to a ton. There are some really killer songs on it, and it feels like Switchfoot's leaning much more into the rock space. There's like more aggression, but it is balanced out nicely, and I think that that matters a lot. This is the only time I had this thought through one of the albums. I'm not a huge fan of the song Selling the News. Not topically, but I'm saying I'm not a huge fan of kind of like what happens with it. It just didn't hit me in the right way. And it's one of the few Switchfoot songs that I would maybe hear it come on and then like skip to the next one. All right, number 3 song is The Original. Number 2 song is Souvenirs. Forgot about it, listened to it, loved it again. It's one of my favorites. Number 1, Dark Horses. Big contender for the cover at the end. Just saying, Dark Horses is a killer track. I actually heard them do this song live. I had never gotten the opportunity to see Switchfoot live until maybe 2 years ago. They were touring with Need to Breathe. They were opening. I went. I listened to them open, listened to half of Need to Breathe, and booked it out because I had seen what I kind of wanted to see. I give Vice Verses a 6.5 out of 10. 2016, we have the album Where the Light Shines Through. This is again one of those albums that's a little controversial with Switchfoot fanatics, but I do think that there are a lot of good tracks on it. I think the opener, Holy Water, might be one of my favorite Switchfoot songs because of that intro, the rhythm, the chorus. It just, production-wise, it feels great. Which makes a lot of sense because this is an album that's produced by John Fields, the same guy who produced The Beautiful Letdown. I think the thing that people maybe don't love about this album in general is that it feels a little more like radio-friendly, which Switchfoot had like radio-friendly stuff obviously in the past, but this one feels like there's more of it. I don't think lyrically there's anything sacrificed at that, but maybe the songs just don't hold their own against the rest of the catalog. Songs like Float maybe feel like they're just reaching a little bit to try to grab more of that kind of pop radio feel. Or songs like Bull in a China Shop might feel like they go a little bit long for what it is. But then you do get songs like Hope is an Anthem, which clearly is a successful Switchfoot song. A lot of the songs that I really enjoyed from this album feel like they could have had a place on The Beautiful Letdown, which is, I think, because they brought back in John Fields. Overall, I'm gonna give, on a Switchfoot scale, Where the Light Shines Through, a 4.5 out of 10. That's only because I've already ranked their first albums higher than that, and I don't feel like this is better than those first albums.
Native tongue.
Next, we've got 2019's Native Tongue. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Switchfoot had taken a break at this point, and it was kind of unknown whether they were going to come back or not. But then I remember them like posting an 11 and all of this stuff, and there was just a lot of hype around this album. Do I think this album is good? Yes, I do think it's good. I think that all of Switchfoot's albums are good, but I do feel like this is maybe the weakest of the albums. This album is actually produced by the Foreman brothers, John and Tim, and I think they do a really good job of producing it. It does feel more radio accessible. I can't really ever decide if that's like a good or a bad thing sometimes, but you know, I hear some of the parts on this and I think, man, Imagine Dragons really did a number on the scene. The opener track, Let It Happen, really cool. Native Tongue, also a cool song, does feel a little Imagine Dragons like radio rock. Voices feels very radio rock or radio pop rock, but again, not a bad song. I would say I feel not nothing about this, but out of all of the Switchfoot albums, this feels like one that I don't really want to focus on a ton. I think my number 3 song is All I Need. My number 2 song is going to be Native Tongue, and my number 1 song is going to be Let It Happen. I just kind of did a reverse of the top 3 tracks, and we've got one more album to go. Listen closely when I tell you this. We're about to talk about the most underrated Switchfoot album. 2021 Interrobang, come at me. This album is phenomenal. People got really annoying online about it, and they were like, oh, what is this? This song's weird. Hey, shut up. Maybe you just don't know an interesting song when you hear one. I also kind of find it funny that Native Tongue had like all caps for the titles and that Interrobang has all lowercase. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I thought it was amusing. This album's production is fascinating. We've got Tony Berg at the helm, and what we wind up with is a very Beatles influenced album, I think. There's no way they weren't thinking about the Beatles and thinking about Pet Sounds. Like all of it had to be taking part in this album. The song I Need You to Be Wrong is so fascinating. And there's a moment where the vocals soar and these harmonies are happening. It feels very, very Brian Wilson, but also feels a lot like Abbey Road Beatles harmonies. The strings and pads floating around it. It's cool. We're also getting some like rubber bridge guitar, I believe, on songs like Fluorescent. And they're hitting these really dissonant chords, but they're paired with these lyrics that are so fascinating. It's like this very interesting puzzle that comes together in pretty much an experimental album, I feel. Again, people got annoying about this album online, and I truly think people need to give this album another shot if they didn't like it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite albums from the band. It, to me, feels like it should be partnered up with some of their earlier work because it feels like they're trying something new. It's like they reached back and pulled out this super original work after hitting 2 kind of like radio-friendly albums. Number 3 song is Electricity. I saw them do this one live. Number 2 is Fluorescent. Again, rubber bridge guitar starting it, going into some really cool production with some really interesting timing choices of where instruments are in and out. But number 1 is I Need You to Be Wrong. Again, as someone who loves Brian Wilson, loves the Beach Boys, it just made me so happy to hear a song that was reminiscent of that being done by a band that is one of my favorites currently. Everything about this album is extremely underrated. I give Interrobang a 9 out of 10. Come for me if you want. I'll fight you to the end. I'll fight you until I get another Fading West t-shirt. That's right, I'm still not over this.
Obviously, I still didn't know that shirt had been found, so we're gonna move past it.
You listen to me. If I don't have that Fading West t-shirt soon, I'm gonna be so upset. I did listen through the Christmas album. I thought it was fun. I listened to the covers EP, also thought it was fun. I don't think that they rank within the rankings of the studio albums, obviously. There were other singles that were dropped sporadically through here, some singles that ended up on like greatest hits stuff. I did listen to that, so overall I listened to hours and hours of Switchfoot music. In the spirit of originality that I was getting from the album Interrobang, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna make a cover how I want it to sound, so that there's something new and fresh to listen through. And you know what? It should probably come from my favorite Switchfoot album of all time.
Looking for the kingdom coming.